everyone, and welcome to YouTube Tuesday with me, Jessica Brigden of JessBCreativeCardiology. Hello, hello. I hope you're having a great start to your week. I've got some beautiful cards to share with you today. I'm going to be using Stampin' Up's Wildflower Designs bundle, along with the Wildly Flowering Designer Series paper. Really, really beautiful floral designs. I'm calling it old-fashioned fabulous. You might call it shabby chic, you might call it vintage. If you've got a better name for it, let me know. But today we're going to call it old-fashioned fabulous. And I think you're going to love these designs. They're going to be fast, right? So fast with a touch of fabulous. So I'm going to show you a really simple design and then how we can step it up just a little bit because we've got some gorgeous dies that go along with the Wildflower Designs stamps here. And so I think you're going to love this. And the Wildly Flowering Designer Series paper is one of the papers that is 15% off this month here during the month of August as part of Stampin' Up's Designer Series paper sale, along with 13 other papers. So a total of 14 papers, all right, all 15% off this month. You can grab each pack for just $10.62. And if you shopped in July and earned bonus days coupons, you can use your coupons on the sale prices as well, which is really awesome. Great way to double dip. Hi Kathy, hello, hello. All right, glad to see I've got a few people here. Make sure to leave me a comment, let me know where you're from and which paper. Do you have a favorite paper? Because they're all so pretty. So let me go ahead and flip the camera here so we can get started today. All right. Okay, little flip around there. Whew, we're just about halfway through August, which is crazy. All right, but I do have my August house code here if you'd like to shop with me. That is N99F4XDTXZ. Oh, yes, the better question, Kathy says, is which paper don't you like, right? I don't think there is a single paper here that I don't like. I love them all, yes. And so each of these papers from the annual catalog are originally $12.50. They are all 15% off, on sale for $10.62. If you are having trouble deciding which one you like best, I am offering a paper share. And it will come in this cute little tote here. Perfect for, I have cut the papers down to 6 by 6. So you would get 12 sheets of each paper pack, 12 6 by 6 sheets. So that is a total of 162 pieces of paper. I've got all of them here. Bright and beautiful, countryside inn, country lace, country woods, full of life, Lily Pond Lane, Mediterranean blooms, perennial lavender. Then we've got from the second page here, Take to the Sky, Thoughtful Journey, To Market, Unbounded Beauty, Wildly Flowering, which we'll be using today, and Winter Meadow. All right, so that's 6 by 6 sheets of all 14 different paper packs, all nicely placed here, and a little storage tote for you. That is $55 shipped. Okay, so if you would like one of those, please message me. I will leave the shopping link for that in the video description. I'll pop that in here and leave it in the comments as well once I'm done recording. Okay, but like I said, today we're going to be featuring the Wildly Flowering. You can see this collection on pages 40 and 41 of your Stampin' Up! Annual catalog here. All right, so really, really beautiful designs, and it's kind of got a touch of vintage, a little old-fashioned, I don't know, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like vintage wallpaper a little bit. So I guess that's where I'm going with that, but call it what you like. It's beautiful nonetheless. All right, so let me give you a little close up. This is a sampler that I cut down to 4 by 6, but these are each of the patterns here in the Wildly Flowering. The back side of this one is almost like a linen. It's not textured, but it looks like it's textured. Okay. They're kind of like they were almost like done on canvas. So really, really pretty here. We've got a combo of colors from Crumb Cake and Misty Moonlight. We've got some Wild Wheat and some Moody Mauve and a little bit of Mossy Meadow and some early espresso in there too. Really, really pretty. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. Hello, Karen. Glad you could join us on your lunch break here. As part of this collection, we do have some of these fun little dots. These are called the adhesive backed textured dots. You can see they do have, they're kind of a, like a brassy color here, and they've got a little bit of texture on them. Hi, Polly. Hello, hello. Glad you could join us. So we're gonna mix and match a little bit. I've cut a couple of card bases. Now, according to my shirt, that's actually what inspired me to use the projects today. I was planning to use the Misty Moonlight colors, right, and kind of go with something like that. But then I realized on previous videos, I had already used like the Misty Moonlight when we did this pop-out panel card. Okay, so there's a video for this on my channel here. If you scroll back through, I believe I did this in June. Okay, also featuring the Wildflower Designs bundle. All right, so I'd already used that, but I had not used the Moody Mauve patterns, so that's what I decided to go with today. So I pulled out Moody Mauve and some Wild Wheat. And so for just a really simple Moody Mauve card, all right, I've got basic white here for the inside. I wanted a contrasting layer, so I've got some early espresso here. All right, I thought I'd use this pattern. I did pre-die cut. Okay, so with this, I've got some great die cuts. This is the one that I used here for the white. So just a basic stitched shape, okay? And then on the next card, I'm gonna show you how I step it up a little bit using the scalloped edge there. Okay, let's see, I got a little stripe for the inside, and yeah, I think that is all I need here for the first project. Like I said, we're keeping it fast and fabulous, okay? So card base is your typical 5.5 by 8.5, fold at 4 1/4, and score. All right, let's go ahead and adhere our pieces on the inside before I forget. Okay, basic white 4 by 5 1/4. All right, just a little bit of adhesive to tack that down with. All right, I guess when I stamp, actually it's kind of like with any task. It's kind of like simplify, right? So you've got all these pieces maybe to start with, you've cut, you've prepped, and then it can be a little bit overwhelming. You're seeing all of these pieces. So I like to reduce it, like tack things down that you can. Put your basic white on the inside. We've got a little strip, it's 3/4 by 4. Let's place that on the inside as well. So just reduce, excuse me, the number of pieces that you're working with. All right, and then that makes it just a little simpler. It's kind of like dividing things into little piles, right? Piles per project, or tackle one thing at a time, okay? All right, so because this is, well, I was gonna say we could go ahead and adhere the early espresso first, but I think I do wanna add just a little bit of ribbon to this. So our early espresso layer is 4 by 5 1/4, and our Wildflower Designs is 3 3/4 by 5. So we're going to adhere these together. This is our Moody Mauve project. Okay, so just a little bit of that. All right, so in the past we have had some Moody Mauve ribbon. Currently we have the 2023 to 2025 in color jute trim. This also has a little bit of moody mauve in here, and I've got a little piece already cut. So I think I'm going to work with that, and I'm gonna find the halfway, approximately, all right, stretch it out here, approximately the halfway point of my card, and cut that just a little bit longer than my card is wide, okay? And I'm going to just apply my adhesive all the way around the back side of this espresso panel. I went ahead, I adhered the designer series paper to the espresso because it gives it just a little bit of stability when you're adhering ribbon, especially ribbon like this jute twine, which kind of has a mind of its own. And if you're trying to just put this around the designer series by itself, then you might risk, tearing that pretty paper, and that's not what we want to do. So when you add an extra layer like this, it does give it some more support there. And we just tuck those ends to the back, okay? And now we are ready to adhere this to the card front. So that's just a quick tip for you when you're working with some ribbon, or especially the jute trim. It's a little more coarse. It's not as soft and pliable as ribbon, and you can see how it curls. It does have a mind of its own. So anything we can do to tame it just a little bit. Okay, so I die cut some basic white, like I said, with the stitched framelit here. Okay, really pretty. And then I want to pick out a flower. We've got 4 different flower images, something that will work with this. And I noticed throughout this paper, we have this lighter shade of moody mauve, this kind of a, I don't know, pom-pom flower here, I'm calling it, all throughout. So I think I'm going to use that design here for our focal image. And I want a sentiment that will also fit on this white panel. So I'm going to use the thank you for this one. Okay, and we're going to stamp everything here on this piece of basic white. So I've got a little block for my thank you, and just, I don't need a block quite that big. So another little block here for my flower. All right, make sure I've got it all on here. Boy, between the lawn, it's a beautiful day here. We've had quite a kind of a rainy weekend, rainy last couple of days, and today it's absolutely beautiful, and all of the lawnmowers are out in full force. So all right, so we've got some moody mauve and some early espresso here. I think I'm going to stamp my flower in moody mauve. We'll do that towards the top here of our die cut panel. All right, I got just at the very top there, but that'll work because that'll leave me room for my thank you there along the bottom. And I think I'll stamp that with a little bit of early espresso, which works out good because, I was thinking if they overlapped a little bit, the espresso is darker. So you'd want to stamp your lighter color first and then your sentiment in the darker, but that worked out very nicely. So all we have to do now are add a couple of dimensionals to the back of this panel, and I'm going to be extra secure and add 4 here. All right, and then we could go to the side, we could go in the middle. I guess we'll just go in the middle. And then we still got a little bit of leftover moody mauve jute twine here. I'm not going to try to do a full-on bow with this. I think I'm going to do just a little bit of just a little knot. And then the one thing we could do, I don't want it super long. Let me shorten that a little bit. Because if we shorten it, what we could do is actually fray the edges. Sometimes that looks kind of cool. All right, let me see. I got it on here, and now I can't get it off. There we go. Okay, shorten this up so I don't have quite so much on there. All right. And then I'm tighten it up. All right, trim this. Okay. And then I'm gonna trim that just a little bit more too. Okay. And then with this, I'm gonna pull it apart a little bit at the top here. When it's working with this, I kind of like having the frayed, so you can, most of the times you don't want your ribbon to unravel, but with this, I kind of like that. It leaves the squiggly little fibers. I kind of like that look. So gently start to unwind it and pull it apart a little bit. Okay. All right. Kind of fun, adds an extra little element of texture on there. And then we can add a couple of these pretty little textured dots. All right, we do have a choice. We have textured dots. I've got a little strip here that goes with these, or we also have these in color enamel dots. These were new, they come in a full sheet. This is just one little sample strip. So we've got a couple of different embellishment options that work with this. I kind of think if I were to use the Moody Mauve, they might kind of blend right into the background. So I'm going to go ahead and use the textured dots here. And we'll just add, let's add a couple of these around our project. Let's see here. Let's get one over here, and then we'll take a larger one. Oh, kind of place it off to the side, and then take another smaller one. Hi, Kathy. All right, and then let's do that too. Okay, that's where it fell, so we're gonna stick with that. All right, so there we go. Quick, easy, fast, fabulous. a touch of old-fashioned fabulous there. But really pretty. Okay, so we just had our Moody Mauve card base, added a layer of early espresso behind our wildly flowering designer series paper here. Stamped our focal image in Moody Mauve, sentiment and early espresso, and a little bit of Moody Mauve jute trim there. Okay, so continuing on that thread, the next one we're gonna keep it fast and fabulous. We're gonna step it up just a bit. Okay, so this one we are going with Wild Wheat, and this seems to be a color that people either love or hate. At first, I was on the hate side, but I have quickly it's grown on me, because especially with a beautiful pack of paper like the Wildly Flowering, because it goes so nicely, and you wouldn't really think to combine this wheat color with these pretty, you know, blues and pinks and things like that. But I think it works really well. So, and it almost has like a gold hue to it. Okay, like golden wheat. Okay. All right. So Wild Wheat card base, 5.5 by 8.5. Just folded that. All right. Again, reduce the pile. So we're going to take our basic white layer, 4 by 5.25. Again, tuck this on the inside of our card. All right, along with a little strip, again, 3/4 by 4 for the inside here, just to dress that up as well. All right, just right here along the bottom. Okay, gives it a nice finished look. Okay, so for this one, we are also using a layer of early espresso, but I did, this is going to be hidden here behind my designer series paper layer. So never mind that I got holes in the middle of these, okay? I did a little die cutting. It's one of those things that, especially if you've got a layer that's going to be sandwiched between your card base and another layer, use that piece, all right? Salvage your cardstock because you can die cut right from the middle of that and nobody's even gonna know. So for this one, we stepped it up a little bit and we are using this scalloped edge die. It's got a pretty little detail, like a little framing detail on each of the scallops. But then it also it does 2-in-1. It die cuts the scalloped frame, but then at the same time it also die cuts this center piece, okay? So I die cut both of those and then again use the stitched one. It nests inside there for a little piece as well. That's what I did out of my front layer, okay? And you're gonna see, I'm gonna put all of these together, all right? So then you're not gonna see any holes when I'm done. All right, let me show you how that works. So we are going to adhere, again, our Wildly Flowering Designer Series paper. This is 3 3/4 by 5 onto the Early Espresso 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so we're going to adhere these layers together. I die cut first and then adhere them together. Okay. Okay. Actually, I don't think I'm going to use any ribbon on this card, so we could just go ahead and glue this down flat. I was going to say, if you're going to do your ribbon first, all right, do that. But since I'm not going to use ribbon, we can go ahead and just stick this down. Okay. All right, so we've got that. All right, now here's my little focal point that I had die cut from that center layer. And then we are going to, well, I die cut a couple of pieces because then we have a choice. All right, so I've got Early Espresso on there. If I was going to use Early Espresso, you guys can let me know which one you like better, espresso or mauve. Okay, so the way this is gonna work is the frame will go down first. Okay, then our center layer, let's get it straightened up. Okay, and then the stitched piece would layer on top. All right, so this is what it looks like with the Early Espresso. Or we've got the Moody Mauve. Okay, so let me show you what that would look like. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of looking at things together. There's the Moody Mauve with the inside piece, and then that. I kind of feel like the flowers just kind of blend right in with the Moody Mauve. Like it's almost not enough contrast. Okay. All right, so Polly's voting for espresso. Here is one other, there's a third option would be the Moody Mauve frame with the espresso background, and then add our stitched piece. So we'll call that the combo. Okay, so we had all espresso, all Moody Mauve, or a combo. All right, so it looks like we've got a couple, not the combo, Kathy's saying. Okay, so we've got a couple of votes here. Polly and Kathy voting for all espresso. Okay, all right, I'll keep looking. All righty, so let's go ahead. In order to do that, I'm going to adhere the center piece first. I think that's just the easiest thing to do, okay? And that's gonna cover the whole, so you don't even have to worry about that. Maximize our designer series paper there. All right, so we got that pretty piece, then we'll stick on our stitched piece. Okay, so see, we're following the same layout here. We've just added a little extra layer here. Hi, Sandy. Hello, hello. Hi, Nancy. Okay, it looks like the consensus across the board is the espresso. And yes, let's go ahead. It's so pretty, isn't it? Okay, let's do that. And I'm going to You know, let's pop it up just a little bit. And to do that, I'm going to use my mini dimensionals. You guys seen the difference? All right, so this is the full size and the minis. All right, good. Sandy concurs on the espresso layer here. All right, so let's just take a few of these little minis. All right, there we go. Let's do one more here. Got my little trash bag here off to the side so I can put those little dimensional pieces. I've been finding them all around the house, so I decided I need to be a little bit better about how I tidy up here. Okay. And then gently fit that into place. Oops. Okay. I got one little edge. Don't worry about that little edge here because I could have moved that up just a little bit. All right, what I'm going to do, because I want to place for a sentiment, so I've got a couple of scrap pieces. I've got a 3/4 inch piece, and it's a little longer because I can cut it down to whatever I want, or I've got an inch. So I thought I would see which one worked best, and then I could use the sending happy thoughts sentiment here. All right, and it looks like both of my scrap pieces are long enough. Okay, so let's go ahead adhere. I don't know what happened to my skinny block, but I'll use this one and just put it on as an angle. All right, let's go ahead. We'll do some early espresso ink for this. And I think I'd like to use the narrower piece if I can get it all on here. So we'll try that first. Actually, let's go on one end. I'm gonna start from one end. Oh, it worked out good. Okay, I'm not gonna use the 1 inch. So the 3/4 inch strip worked well. And I think what I'll do, I want this to go across the front. Maybe I will just angle the ends. The sentiment kind of goes this way. So we'll just use the snips. Boom, boom. Okay. There we go. Right? That looks cute. Okay. And then it's still pretty simple. Maybe touch it up just a little bit more. Okay, I had, yes, another scrap piece. And for this one, I thought we've got this pretty little image here. All right, and there's dies for each of these flowers as well. Okay, so I thought, let's stamp a little image. And we'll do that. All right, I'm gonna use the back of my thank you block because I'm gonna die cut this anyway. So we'll stamp this. All right, that works good. Then I've got my die cut. Okay, we'll run that through the cut emboss machine. Snap, crackle, pop, and there we go. I did die cut one of those ahead of time just to speed things along. Okay, so for this one, we will, let's color just a little bit. So I pulled out my Stampin' Blends, and we do have Wild Wheat and Moody Mauve, and then I grabbed a little bit of the Mossy Meadow here. I think I'm gonna use the light Mossy Meadow for some of the leaves, and maybe we'll do the Moody Mauve for the flowers. It kind of picks up the images here, okay? So we'll just quickly color because these are, it's a small flower. I'm going to use the fine tip, the bullet tip here for that, and add just a little bit of color here. Okay, and then we'll come in, again, the bullet tip of our Moody Mauve. This is the light Moody Mauve. Really pretty. We can add a couple little accents if we want with the darker. Just a couple little highlights, makes it looks a little more three-dimensional there. Okay, I think that's all we need. So let's add a couple of full-size dimensionals here to the back of our sentiment. And then we just need one here on the back of our flower. And then I think we'll be good to go. So let's do this. Yeah, that looks about a good spot, right? Okay, across the center. And we can dress it up a little bit with our, do I like it in front or in back? I kind of like it in front. What do you guys think? Flower behind or in front? Okay, you guys let me know if you like it behind or in front. And while we're doing that, I think I'm gonna grab out my little textured dots and get those ready. All right, I'll give you guys a moment to comment on the flower placement in front or behind. Isn't that pretty? Again, so simple. It's the same layout. The only thing we did differently is we added the extra die cut frame, and then we did a little piece for the sentiment with the flower. But still a very, you can keep it super simple, or again, you can step it up a little bit. And all of the papers in this pack are so pretty. So you really could use any of the patterns here. I love that one too. So pretty. And then the back side has more like solid and a few daintier patterns here. Okay. All right, good. Nancy says in front. All right, I think I like that. So let's put this right here. We'll kind of frame in our sentiment a little bit. Very pretty. Okay, and then we can add a couple of these dots. Now I use my snips. You can use your, take your pick tool, or if you got some fingernails, you can use those too. All right, we'll add a large and a small. And then let's add, we'll kind of go up here and add a couple more. Oops, there we go. And then, how about that? I'll just kind of sprinkle them across the card front. So fun. All right, what do you think? Super cute, really pretty. A little old-fashioned, right? These floral prints, maybe it's the colors, yes. And it does, Kathy, it does help tone down the busy paper. But what do you, I actually really like this, especially if wild wheat maybe wasn't your favorite color to start with, but I really like this combination. And I think it's not as in your face, right? Okay, so, but especially with these pretty little stamps here from the Wildflower designs, you could also, I haven't cleaned my stamps yet, so we could add just a little, we could add a little stamped image here on the inside of our card. We could even do the outside of the envelope. How pretty would that be? A little bit on the envelope flap. All right, super cute, right? Gorgeous. And then, let's see, I had some Moody Mauve on the other one here. Dress that up just a touch on the inside if you like, okay? And then even a little piece for the envelope. All right, so. All right, there we have it, our gorgeous, wildly flowering designer series paper projects. All right, I hope you enjoy these. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Oh, I'm glad you enjoy adding your stamped images to your envelopes too. It's so pretty. It like gets the excitement started when you know, first of all, it's so nice to receive something in your mailbox that's not a bill. And then when you see a pretty little design on it, you're like, ooh, it's extra special. So, so great idea. Yes, don't forget to stamp your envelopes as well. Aw. Well, thank you, Polly. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Nancy and Sandy. It was so nice to have all of you here today, and Karen and everybody else who's watching the replay. Thank you so much for joining me today. And don't forget to take advantage here of the fabulous Designer Series paper sale. All right, while that's going on, I will post the link to my paper share if you want to get a sampler of all. And then if you'd like to join my newsletter, of course there is a link in the video description, but you can also hold your phone or your device up, scan that QR code, and that will take you right to my newsletter sign up, okay? All right, so with all of that, send me lots of love, thumbs up, likes, shares, and subscribe too if you haven't already. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you on Friday. Take care. Bye-bye.